We're here. We're live. City Postgame Live is here and awesome. What up, what up, what up? New York!
We are live. Thanks again for coming out to Ryan's daughter for another great NYCFC match.
We're singing. We're having a good time.
So we are City Postgame Live. I am Mike Andra here with...
I'm Trey Fillmore from the Blue Balls Podcast.
We also got a couple of guests out in the audience. And guys, if you're in the bar, we are going to come out and we're going to talk to you and get your thoughts.
What a great night. You happy, Mike?
Oh, what a ton of energy in the bar, a ton of energy in the stadium.
My friend Jada won this, and I get to keep it. It's been a great night.
And for good reason. NYCFC, for the first time in their history, beat Orlando in Orlando. And it's the first loss for Orlando in their new stadium.
Yeah, good. They needed to get taken down a peg, if you ask me. Watch your language, Nick Chavez. Nick Chavez is here.
One of our upcoming guests is.
But yeah.
So
let's just get into it. Why not?
3-0 victory, goals by Rodney Wallace and 2 by David Villa.
Oh my God,
It was a great performance by NYCFC. Look, overall it was a sloppy game, back and forth on both sides of the ball, but nonetheless, NYCFC went there. You know, they had already lost 2 this season against Orlando, and they got the job done.
You say sloppy, I say end-to-end action. That was great. I had a good time. I mean, some of those chances were not great on either team, but at the same time, all those opportunities came up. And it's been a welcome change for this team that needed it. From one of the fans here, a great term for how we perform this season is Dickensian. It's been the best of times and the worst of times. I dropped that jewel. This is a free show. I hope everyone loves that.
No, that's a great way to explain it, because this was a game where at the end of the day, they did what they had to do right.
Oh yeah.
They didn't. Obviously, they didn't connect on everything. They still had a higher percentage of the possession, but even with their possession, they were possessing well in their defensive third, and then when they pushed the ball forward into the middle third, even they were giving up possession. They were losing the ball foolishly.
Well, I think you made a great point, and I think it goes to the preparation for this game, right? This is a team that has not been at its top form in the last 2 games, obviously, and then coming into this game, you could tell that Patrick Vieira was trying to do a few things. Firstly, possession. Totally right. Very obvious. They made multiple first touch passes as much as possible, especially in the midfield, and that created space quickly. It prevented turnovers. Orlando had no defensive presence at all for most of that game because we got rid of the ball early. We took advantage of our open passing lanes spectacularly sometimes, and you just saw a renewed dependency on precision, and it really helped the team out this time. And then secondly, I think they went in, we're going to attack the left side. They're going to attack the left side. They're going to get Rodney back in the game. When he gets in games, good things happen. And then when that closed down in the second half, Vieira made adjustments. We're going to go down the middle. We're going to go down the middle. We're going to make this happen. It was not good between Maxi and Villa in the first half, but that's okay. Came back in the second half and really got things done.
So let's go to one of the major talking points that they pretty much dominated this week, because RSL the result is what it was. We can't go back and get those points back. But there was a lot of conversation about who's going to replace Andrea Pirlo, because Pirlo was basically, at this point, I'm going to say he was replacing Yangel Herrera.
I thought we were going to avoid this conversation.
Well, let's talk about it from the perspective that we had Mikey Lopez start in that midfield position. The whole week leading up to it, I thought that we were looking at Herrera as an 8, and that we were replacing a box-to-box guy. And much to my surprise, we had Mikey Lopez come in and play a much more defensive role.
We just took a picture very smoothly. Mike continued his point. It was beautiful. I think that's a very good point, right? We saw this team switch from Alex Ring being a box-to-box player. We're very excited here. We saw Alex Ring go from being a box-to-box kind of player to being a true number 6 more recently, and having it work very positively. And then in this game, we don't have a player like Young Hill being that forward destroyer. And I think you saw Maxey and Ring kind of share a lot of responsibility. I think you did see Ring kind of move back a bit. I don't think he had his best game necessarily. I don't think he needed to. I think just when we have our A-team in, our talent on the front line is so capable and so dominant that it really saves us, in the long run. Very quickly, we have a listener comment. I have to put my glasses on to see it. Roddy Russell, who's a friend of all of our pods. I'm going to sound like Opta Joe on Twitter. Haha, 372, the number of days since NYCFC last won 3 points on Fox Sports 1. A full year on that freaking channel. I can't wear the glasses and the headphones at the same time.
So the game starts off ugly. It doesn't really happen. Nothing seems to work well for either team. Rodney Wallace gets the ball into the box. He sees. Look, I'm going to say that this is intentional. He sees Kaká with his arm out of position, and he basically just chips it into Kaká.
Just chips it up there, yeah. Professional play, and he was even if it didn't hit Kaká, he knew something would happen, right? The ball would be in the box. I think it was a smart play, and obviously a great attempt by Bendik, who's been one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and we saw some great saves by him in this game. But even greater shot by David Villa on that penalty goal, and that's the reason he's the captain. He's cold-blooded, and it really worked out for them.
I think let's give kudos to the guy who grabbed his junk multiple times before Villa
right
took
behind
that
the
shot.
goal. Yeah, bad luck. Sorry,
but,
man.
Hey, you know what? You got to have a little class if you want to move ahead, and that guy obviously showed absolutely no class. And look, I think Villa, it was the unstoppable PK. I mean, as simple as it goes, there's no way anyone's going to stop that goal.
No.
So that's the 13th minute. I mean, NYCFC. Was that enough that early in the game to throw Orlando off their game plan to where they had to adjust?
I don't know if a penalty will ever changes people's game plans, but you did see the game open up for Orlando and late in the first half, right? And you saw it's because they went down 2 goals. And that's just a natural kind of evolution of any game. When a team is down 2, they have to start taking chances. And so, more shallow, it looks like they were getting back in the game, but more openly, they weren't finding any connection between Rivas and Larin. They weren't finding any connection between Kaká and Larin. It just wasn't working for them. It wasn't their night, They're a great team. They have a lot of talent, but, Jason Kreis is Jason Kreis, but it just didn't work out for them in the end. I think they had a lot of players that were cold in that game, and they got frustrated, right? When you go down early, especially 2 goals, what are you going to do? You have to start throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. And, fortunately, the chances they took weren't quality chances, and that's why we won 3-0. We have a guest. Nick Chavez is here. The famous. Yes, Nick Chavez. Watch your mouth, Nick Chavez.
I've never struck a foul blow. May the Lord greet me as a friend.
This is Nick Chavez, y'all. You've seen him on Twitter.
Yes, I mean. TV's Nick Chavez.
Sirius Radio's Nick Chavez. You're moving up, bro.
So I wanted to bring
that
Nick up.
That mic is way louder than all of ours.
Yeah.
Wanted to bring Nick up for
Beautiful.
one reason. Well, not for multiple reasons, but let's make mention of the fact that this is NYCFC's 4th anniversary, and Nick is one of the guys who's been here from the beginning. So your thoughts on that, and did that have any impact on this result? Did the team feel it?
I don't know if they felt it. I'm sure the club realizes it, and the front office probably more so than the players. The players are probably just focused on the game. But it's fortuitous. It's
Lean in closer.
I need to be closer.
You gotta,
I'm sorry.
Don't be scared of it.
I know.
I learned
so
that.
it's fortuitous, and it's that happened this day. This is a big result for New York City to beat Orlando the first time they ever lost in their new stadium. First time that New York City's ever won in Orlando. It's a huge result for New York City. It kind of gets the monkey off their back because Orlando's, I think, had the better of the series for the most part, and Kreis has definitely had the better of the series since he's become the coach of Orlando. So it's big, and it's a great way to celebrate. Was it 4 years now that the club's been announced, and we've come a long way from being an unmitigated disaster and a huge mistake to seeing what we've done today in Orlando.
I have a question for you. I could be a good host. I hope so. I need more practice. So we've obviously not had good luck against this Orlando team, especially Kyle Larin. What changed in this match compared to how we've approached them before?
For me?
Yeah.
What's changed in this match? That's a good question. I think it's more of, it's like sometimes you just win some and you lose some, but I mean, Pirlo not being out there might have helped. I mean, with when you have a guy like Pirlo who's, could frequently be a defensive liability, that's always something you're going to point your finger at and be like, well, maybe, if he was out there, Orlando might have breached the defenses more, and it could have made a draw or a loss out of it for New York City.
Yeah, that Mikey sub was subtle. He obviously was maybe the 10th or 11th most important player on the team. But at the same time, I think it was a smart choice. Can I do this on the air? Take a shot?
Yes, you can.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm drinking.
I'm going to take a shot. One for Nick, too? Is this from Mickey? It's from you? Oh, it's for you. It's for me and you.
Oh, yeah, good.
Come on. We won. I'll take it. This is how I do every podcast, with lots of alcohol, so I feel like I can handle. Thank you. Is this tequila? L'chaim. Cheers. Jada, future co-host of Blue Balls Pod. Jake's not leaving. Don't worry about it.
Bottoms up.
This is a family. It's a family-friendly podcast.
That's just shots of apple juice.
Oh, goodness.
That's Mott's.
Now let's get into it. Do we have questions from the audience or no? Do we want to get there yet? No, let's talk about one more thing. How about that beautiful goal in the second half from Maxi, that pass to David Villa, who we've seen recently moving in as a false nine more and more, now making that run that's a true striker run, right? That's Pipo Inzaghi 101.
Oh yeah, and if you get Aguirre Villa in that sort of position, it's the chances are extremely high that he's going to bury it, and that's what he did. And and he continues. He's not slowing down. Old man Villa, as a lot of people like to say, even when he came in his first season at 33, 34 years old, people thinking he's too old, it's retirement league. Nah, not really, not in MLS, not for him. Like he's the reigning MVP, and he's continuing to be easily one of the best players in this league.
I just want to say this might be the greatest moment of my life because Alexi Lalas is on television right now talking about soccer, and he's muted, and no one here can hear him, and everyone's listening to me. I'm very happy. I think we're going to take some questions from our audience. A lot of people cleared out, but that's okay. We got a lot of people here.
If it's not a question, we'll definitely get some reaction. You hear some loud guys in the bar.
Are we going to Will?
Apparently, we're coming to Will.
We're going to Will, who just graduated Friday from Juilliard.
Well done, Will.
Yeah.
He's been on our podcast before.
I have been on
Twice.
the podcast before. Twice?
Yeah.
I got drunk with you twice?
Shout out to the Hearts of Oak.
And Hearts of Oak. Nick Chavez with the reference, yeah.
So what's up, Will?
I don't know. I didn't actually have a question.
Oh my God!
No,
you just
but-
wanted us to congratulate you. Are you happy though, right?
Well, let's go back to Will with the question. What do you think was different between for NYCFC this game versus the other games they played against Orlando?
Well, I mean, I think no Pirlo had something to do with it, just in that having a midfield that was mobile. But I mean, they just finished their chances today. I mean, in all the games we played Orlando, we've had chances, we just haven't finished them off. So today, they just actually did it today, instead of just sitting around and. I don't know if I can say that.
Chavez does need a shot.
Chavez does need. I don't know if I need it, but I might want it.
One vote for finishing their chances.
For finishing their chances this time?
Yeah,
You saw a lot of sloppy chances, but yeah. Obviously, Villa's last chance was just like impeccable. I mean, it was like a 1-on-4, but he was wide. He was in front of the line, and he just maneuvered, and he took those angle on his weak foot. Come on, man. Beautiful. Mwah.
Rico.
The other thing that was a key was the fact that we took advantage of I heard the word luck from over here, and luck played a big part of it because Kyle Larin missed his PK, and that was a big turning point in this game. Yes, it was 2-0 at that point, but he puts that ball on frame and scores.
It's a different game.
A very different game.
And what was it, a Kaká handball, right? It was Kaká with the handball?
No. It was Ben Sweat. Oh, my God. Let's talk about We're turning the
but
camera to talk about
the
this.
Orlando handball.
Yeah, that's true. But
Was
we're
that Kaká?
turning the camera
I mean,
to talk about this. Look, Ben Sweat. Ben, we like you. We appreciate what you've been doing. You can't do it. You can't do that.
You shouldn't do that.
Look at us. You can't do that. Now, if you noticed, in the second time they were in the box, Ben Sweat had a player with the ball, and he immediately put his hands up and wasn't going to touch the guy.
So
he learned. I'm sure Vieira got into his head, but come on, Ben Sweat. He's been playing well, obviously, and Moderita will be back soon. We have another audience question, though.
So let's go back out to the audience.
You're so far away.
Yeah, so my name is Wandy, and
Wandy?
Wandy, yes.
Oh.
And I do have to say the two biggest changes that I noticed, number one, the Mikey Lopez factor. He was coming back from injury, came back from surgery, worked his butt off. And the other one is no Pirlo, yes party, I have to say. I mean,
Oh, no.
Yes.
I might be right. She might be right about that.
Okay, what's your whole
She might
take?
be right.
Nick, I have not seen your take on this whole. We got a call. I'm so sorry. We appreciate it, Wandy, but we got a call. Hold on, we got a live call.
We'll get back to it.
Hey, it's Rob from Long Island.
Rob from Long Island.
What's up, Rob?
What's up, Rob? The bar loves you.
Hey, I'm a huge fan of Blue Ball.
Yeah!
Woo! Who isn't?
I'm actually the guy who redid your logo.
Oh, Rob! Shout out to Rob from Long Island. He did our new logo. The first one was a little too on the nose. So
my question for you guys is Davi Villa the greatest player of all time?
that's a great question. Thanks, Rob, for calling. We're going to tackle that. Love you. All right, man. That's a pretty straightforward question.
I mean, I feel like I wrote something about this.
You did, and he
couple weeks ago.
retweeted you.
And David Villa retweeted me. It was a very special moment for me. But I think he's one of the greatest players of all time for sure.
Can you
look at
cut
his
down
resume.
your whole piece you wrote to 140 characters?
Look at his resume. All right, so we'll say World Cup winner, Euro Cup
Check.
winner,
Check.
Champions League winner, and he scored
Check.
in the final against Manchester United. He scored
Check.
a fucking goal.
Oh,
He scored
language alert.
a golazo against Manchester United. Okay. He's won La Liga several times. And honestly, and here's something people got to remember. And then he came to MLS, became MLS MVP.
He's the reigning MVP. People forget it.
Brought New York City FC from being one of the worst teams in the league, and next to the following year, being second in the East. And he was a huge part of that. But
How good was he in this game? He was great.
But yeah, yeah, of course. But you also got to remember, and one of the things that I mentioned in my piece is his best years were at Valencia. And Valencia is a smaller team in La Liga, doesn't have the money that Barcelona has, Real Madrid has, and he was still the leading scorer in that league for 4 years straight.
He got himself on the team.
4 years straight, he was the leading scorer in a league that had Barcelona and Real Madrid. So,
I want to remind Mike again that Mike asked all of the Podluminati, as I like to call us, for our preseason predictions for all the awards. And I'm reminding you, who is the leader in the Golden Boot race right now? It's Nico on Chicago, who I picked to be Newcomer of the Year. I'm looking pretty solid on that. Just saying, I'm pretty smart.
Trey definitely reminded me of that earlier in the week, as MLS was highlighting the fact that Nico's doing pretty well. Let's go back out.
More questions. I love it. You guys have been the
Questions or
best
comment?
audience we've ever had on this show.
Come on.
Just giving us alcohol.
No,
but
let's
cursing.
let's
It's great. Nick's got a drink now. I love it.
My girlfriend loves Jack Harrison. I just want to know why.
Have you seen his face? Hold on. Are you kidding me? Jack Harrison. It looks like he's carved from marble. Have you seen? I'd like to point out the first thing I noticed about this game, talking about being a soccer analyst, is he shaved this time. He looked very clean.
Yeah.
He's a handsome young man. Look, he didn't have the greatest game this time, and that's okay. He got a little frustrated. He was double-teamed constantly. He got some opportunities. She's very excited that Jack Harrison got double-teamed in this game. This is the most out there
I wasn't even thinking about that.
PGL we've done.
Wow.
But you did hear when Jack was subbed out that they did say during the broadcast that it was the travel got up to him.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a player with injury history, and
that's why Vieira rotated in Salt Lake, and everybody was going after Vieira for that. But
we just took 3 points.
Maybe it just paid off, didn't it?
Look, everyone knows if we could get 4 points at minimum from this 3-game road streak, we'd be good, and that's what we got. So I think we have to take that from.
It's been a great road trip.
And
4 points.
It's been a great road
And let's
trip
keep in mind, Alex Ring did not get yellow carded tonight.
Yeah.
And he had a great game, by the way. Alex Ring had a great game.
Ring is available for the game against Atlanta, but we talked about the rotation. You have a question?
No, yeah, we just have a comment on Facebook. I have to say this: Trey looks more beautiful than I imagined. So just had to point it out. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah,
but we had some squad rotation. Ethan White goes down with the groin injury, and groin injuries are tough.
Oh my God,
it sounds
rest
like
in peace. Yeah.
But now the question is, after Wednesday's game, how many people were complaining about R.J. Allen's performance, about Miguel Camargo's performance?
Ethan is he's underappreciated. I think we can say that. Can we get some comments from the audience about Ethan White? I love Ethan.
That's good.
He's from the DMV. I love him.
But I do want to know what people felt because
don't flick off the camera.
Because
because
R.J. Allen had to play a fair chunk of this game, and he didn't get beat. Let's say that way. We didn't concede.
Never mind. I don't want. Oh yeah, Steve, what's up? Talk about Ethan. And then I'll talk about RJ.
Ethan is someone I really have a lot of respect for because he really worked at it. He was just not great last season. He has worked hard and fallen into this right back role, and I think has earned the starting spot. RJ has moments of absolute brilliance. Like you call him Sugarfoot. Occasionally he has the most amazing curling early through balls in that you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does nothing and gets beat. This game, he happened to just hold up really well. And I think he's a solid rotational guy. He might need a little more minutes, but I don't think he is the every week starter.
Steve, great analysis from another. I can't hear me. Are we good? Another great analysis from another future guest host of Blue Balls Pod. We got the whole lineup here. They're all here. Jada, you guys will be on. So I like that we asked for comments about Ethan, and we still didn't get one. So that just shows how underappreciated he is. Obviously, he's doing well. Just a brief thing on RJ, because groin injuries are terrible in soccer, right? They can last weeks, and it's really troubling that this guy who's been in every single starting 11 from the beginning of the season he's been injured outside of last week. We don't talk about last week, though.
Ethan?
Ethan, right?
No, Ethan didn't play the first game against Orlando.
You're right. He earned his spot. Yeah, bottom line with RJ, no one knows why he was dropped out of the starting 11, right? It's just like Vieira has said that it's because, from you, I got this. Vieira said that he sees the practice more than anyone else, and that RJ wasn't playing well in practice. But look, he was a starting 11 right back for a team that came in second in the East last year and went to the playoffs. That speaks for something. He's a player who has some of the most. He was one of the most improved players in MLS last year, and he is, again, Sugarfoot, a nickname that he is okay with.
In Portland to.
Why are we frozen on this guy?
Was it Tavia?
Jada's getting a lot more shots. Oh, sorry. I saw the shot glasses. I was very excited. Oh, my God. I see us again. We're good. But Ethan, great guy, great player. Picked up his second assist of the season and of his career with our team. to, again, Rodney Wallace. Last game, he didn't know who he assisted that goal on, and I reminded him it was Rodney, and he said, Rodney owes me a sandwich. So I guess Rodney owes him 2 sandwiches now, I would presume.
He's got a couple sandwiches. Ethan White's, with the assists, and obviously he's been a solid defender since he's worked his way into the starting lineup. The fact that we're talking more positively about him than negative about him says something. But it's easy for guys in the back to be forgotten, and it's great that you brought it up.
Yeah, right. Because, we can talk about David Villa all day, right? Yeah. Do you want me to go? Or is Nick leaving? What's going on?
No, I'm just going to jump in because I got a question via Twitter.
Via Twitter.
And it comes from John Q. He wanted to know about Ring and Maxey and how they played in the midfield today. How did that midfield work out?
What do you think, Nick? Talk to it like it's a lover. You have to really put your lips on it.
About Maxi Morales and El Frasquito. So I think Maxi's been pretty consistent. I think in the last several games at least, and for most of the season, he's been. His vision, his touch, his quickness of thought, the balls he plays in. But a lot of players just aren't ready for his balls. I feel like he has.
All right, phrasing. But we'll move on.
Yeah. Pause. No, but the balls and the vision and the
that's a good point. Though. Not to step on that point, but that's
no. But he's got he's provided plenty of really good balls into the box, and some players just weren't ready for it. So he's been awesome. And Ring was in many important situations where he needed to disrupt the offense's possession, and he would just come out of nowhere, kick that ball out of bounds, tackle the player, knock him out of their comfort zone. He's been incredible.
And that's the key, right? Even if Ring didn't have his greatest game this time, he was still there in the moments that they needed him.
I thought Ring had a pretty good game.
I think Maxey had the best. If David Villa wasn't MVP, I think Maxey Morales pulled all the strings on offense in this game, and it was very impressive.
Maxey's been
and that pass to Villa, come on, just a cherry on top of a great night for Maxey Morales, who, again, after in the first half, we relied on playing on the left, and it wore them down, and then Maxey comes in the second half and just utterly dominates, and it was beautiful. It was great.
You could just see the level of class that Maxey Morales has. And I've been keeping note of it. There's been a lot of great balls and great vision and chances that he's provided for the team, and they haven't been capitalizing on it, to be honest. And I noticed that he's been very good. And once this team continues to develop this chemistry with each other and understand where because Maxey moves quick. He plays these little balls in quick. He thinks very quickly, and Villa and him could be on the same case. Villa's Villa's at that level, but some of those other players aren't. And but so he's once they develop that chemistry more, there's gonna be more goals. There's gonna be more assists from Maxey Morales.
Yeah, right. And it's a game where Jack isn't in on the action. That's okay because there's still enough talent to go around. Second, another comment. Jason Pena says, "Love you guys on Blue Balls. Love it." Also, Jake's not here, so the plural of guys doesn't apply here, but that's okay. I wish Jake could be here. We got another question from the audience or comment. You broke the rule. You gave the microphone to the audience. That's a bad idea.
Hi, everybody.
What's your name, bro?
Sean.
I know your name.
My name is Sean.
But tell everyone else.
I just want to say I was very observant, which I'm sure a lot of people were, just before the team entered onto the field, right, or onto the pitch. In the tunnel, if everybody noticed, there was a lot of graffiti, and one of it was, "You have no history." This is what they said about NYCFC. Well, now, our biggest history is that we're the first team to beat you in your known stadium, baby. We did it. NYCFC. Here's your history, baby. Have a great day, everybody.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Hey, Ryan Stoddard, regular,
well
coming
said.
through in the clutch.
That is very well said. Their history.
Is Mickey busy? We've got him on last time, right? Is Mickey busy?
Unbelievable.
Mickey? Is he busy? I don't see him. Oh, well. Whatever. What else? Mike, you're good at talking.
Yeah.
No, you can take my spot if you want to.
Yeah, you can walk around and
yeah, Nick.
find people to talk.
Mike, so what's next, right?
Well, I mean, so we've talked about, we didn't even get to really, well, you've talked about the game kind of in bits and pieces. But, we heard some conversation about Jack Harrison, and I think it's one of the things I wanted to talk about because Harrison, of the starters, was the weakest player tonight. And I know that you can talk about fatigue being a piece of it, but I don't know that fatigue was the only thing that really hampered him. And I actually, you talked about the way that NYCFC addressed this game or played Orlando. They were very compact on the right side. They were not playing with Harrison out wide where he normally is. He was tucked in underneath Villa, and they were forcing everything to Wallace's side.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the point, right? I think that's why Harrison didn't have the greatest game. It's not because of our plan to move the ball away from him, but because we knew that they would be stronger on that side of the pitch. Will's leaving. Bye, Will.
Bye, Will.
Congrats again.
See you later, Will.
Congrats on the graduation.
Oh, there's Mick. Mick is going to be ready for to join us soon.
I hope so. Of course. Yeah, so I think that we knew that it would be a hard game for Jack and that he did okay and that he'll be great. We got Mickey coming in. Mick.
How you doing, guys? How's the
Let's
story?
get you on.
What's the crack?
The legend himself.
How are you feeling? Your number is coming up next week at the home game.
So, Mick, thanks again for having us down at
It's our
Ryan
pleasure. We love having you guys there.
Phenomenal crowd. And you guys had a pretty big crowd on Wednesday, too, for the RSL match.
Yeah, we did. And if it's not too, I guess the word is apropos to mention it, I really wish that we could do something about the whole situation with broadcasting and stuff, because it's really, really tough for businesses. It's really tough for businesses, who are trying their hardest.
Get that voice out there.
They're trying their hardest to, promote the team. We all support the team. We know we got so many people involved. People love this club across the city. And we have to go on and start streaming. And, people don't realize how difficult it is for smaller businesses to actually do that sort of stuff and maintain a regular kind of showing. And thankfully, we got it hooked up here the other night. And there was a really great crowd here. And as usual, the fans showed up. But I really wish that the Yes Network, they could do something to maybe, alleviate any issues that we have in the future, because people want to see the boys in blue. And I think that's something that should be mentioned and said. Thank you.
All right. No,
Thanks, Mick. Appreciate it. That's obviously huge. And you feel it the most out of anyone.
Well, I do, because I'm running around during the day trying to cook a shepherd's pie and trying to make sure that the game is on.
The greatest shepherd's pie I've ever had in my life. Free shepherd's pie. Come down to Ryan's daughter.
But it is important. It's important. Like I said, we're pushing the game and pushing the boat out here, and I think it's just really important. Like we're getting 25,000 on average in the stadium every home game, and people want to watch the match. And it's just one of those little hurdles that some people have a harder time trying to stream stuff than others, and it would make it easier for us all. Anyway, moving on.
No. Well, let's unexcusable.
Thank you.
But let's talk about.
I don't know why people. Just brief sidebar. I don't know why anyone is talking about promotion and relegation when we can't even get the biggest market in the country getting a first division game on the television on a Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody signs bad contracts.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh,
and
please.
That's what it comes down to right now. It's NYCFC's in the middle of a bad contract with Yes Network, and they can't get out of it. But I'll ask you, and then maybe you can get some reaction from the people in the bar.
Sure.
The turning point of the game. We talked about some key highlights in this game. Maybe it was the first goal, the PK that Villa scored. Maybe it was the Wallace goal. Maybe it was the Laren miss. What for you?
For me, it was. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but for me, it was the Laren miss, because at that point you just don't know which way it's going to go. And, I think the boys played great tonight. I think they showed great tenacity in defence. I think they kind of came back after a pretty disappointing performance and loss against Real Salt Lake. And I think, that kind of put a bit of a fire under their butts once that happened. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck. And for Kyle Laren to miss a penalty,
right,
especially after Orlando City losing a game all season, which has been mentioned already in the stadium, I think we just kind of figured out, momentum was on our side, and I think that was, for me, that was the point.
You know what I just remembered right now in this moment is that Club Bruges had a scout there to watch Kyle Laren, and he missed a penalty and didn't score a goal. You got to make your own money, Kyle. Live up to the moment. The scouts are there.
Well, hopefully in 2 seasons' time, when Kyle Laren's playing for Club Bruges against Manchester United, he'll score that penalty. So hopefully it'll happen then.
We're at a Liverpool bar, just so people know.
Anybody else with a different key point?
Anybody else about the key points?
No,
No?
a different key point of the game. You know.
Anyone? It's literally wide
So
open.
much key
We got a
point.
lot of time to fill, y'all.
I do like Jack Harrison. I think he's taking on too many men.
Yeah, in this game, definitely.
He's trying to make a point of, this is my skill level. I want to do this, as opposed to passing off. I love the possession that we have. We haven't had it in forever. It's our first year of having this kind of possession, and I love it. But I just think sometimes they get too much involved with passing to the next guy, and they could bring at least 5 goals home since I've watched over the season by just shooting the damn ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you see a lot of teams who prefer to try to get the best chance as opposed to the first chance, and that's always bit people in the butt before. So we do have an online comment that does say, Roddy Russell again says Harrison could not be the worst because we must have forgot about Collins. That's how he wants people to say his name, by the way. It's weird, but
Collins.
Collins. He himself says Collins. It's between Collins and Callan somewhere. Find the vowel.
Because of his Dutch heritage. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
He has some Dutch heritage.
So
That's
he
where the
likes
name's
Collins. Collins. He says it with his accent.
Keep it real with the Dutch.
Collins.
I think
I don't know.
Nick Chavez
we
stepped
did
up, so Nick has something to say, obviously, about the.
About what?
That's about something. I don't know. I think I don't want people to forget that we have one of the greatest defenses and goalkeeping units in the league in terms statistically. We might be top 3, I would say. It's great. We haven't embarrassed. So the camera's just been on you laying on the thing the whole time.
Tell us who you are.
Oh, we got audience.
Yeah. What's your name?
What?
What's your name? Where are you from?
Teresita from Brooklyn.
All right,
Hey.
Teresita. So, what was your turning point of the game?
Winning.
Nice. Yeah, the 93rd
final
minute
whistle.
is where everything turned around. That's okay. Wait, did you have something to say before we asked you the question?
No, I just want to come here to listen. But
Oh my God,
yeah,
you're
ask the
great.
question.
Thank you so much.
Instead.
I love your shirt.
Thank you.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah.
But
What did you think? We've given Miguel Camargo a lot of criticism since he joined the team. I think you've criticized him pretty well.
yeah, I know.
What, his performance. He came in for Jack Harrison. Did he do enough to make you say that he deserved to be in the 18, or would you like to see a player like John Lewis?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there are other wingers out there.
Wait, I couldn't hear that. What?
There are other wingers out there that could play that position.
Yeah, but he put him, I guess, because he saw Jack was tired, and I saw that he was tired, so he put in Camargo in. And I think for right now, it's probably our best bet. I'd rather have him than Kyrie Shelton, to be honest.
Hey, whoa, hot take.
Oh, there you go.
Hot take. Let's talk about this. I spit everywhere. I do love Kyrie, but Kyrie's injured, so that's like a non.
But even
So you
then,
just wanted to take
I
a
still
dig
would
at it.
not like to have him. I saw him in
That's
Philly.
okay.
In Philly, I saw him. He came in as well in the second half. But I don't like. He's very soft. Like, he gets pushed, he gets on the ground. He's not as aggressive as I would like him to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. Great point. Great point. It's hard, right, with these questions. Vieira's very weird with his subs, right? We saw a week ago when we played Dallas, he didn't even use the third sub. We saw in this game he waited late, and then we subbed in 3 attacking players. What are you doing? We're up 3. Get some defenders some minutes. Vieira is definitely still learning. Yeah. Only a second year of real coaching. But I think that's an important question, right? It's hard to evaluate these players. We have so many great players, and you see
it's
that
hard to choose.
you see
from who to who.
you see the number. The 18 is constantly rotating.
And we don't have a set. But
Yeah,
that's
of course.
probably
Grab the
also
mic.
a problem for us is that we don't have a concrete 18 or a concrete starting 11. So it's
Or
just like,
concrete subs, right?
Yeah,
Super
exactly.
subs are a thing.
So it's hard
Orlando has
for
Giles
a player
Barnes.
to get accustomed to another and see what they play like if you're constantly changing the lineup.
Also, it's hard to criticize like Camargo when he had like 2 touches. Like it's really hard when you sub someone in that late and don't make them part of the game and they have talent. What are you gonna say? I don't know. Mickey has a comment now too. He's fast. He is fast. He's smooth.
I just one little point about Camargo tonight. I think another problem that we have, it's not a problem, it's just the nature of MLS, is that in other leagues around the world, you've got your cup competitions, In England, for instance, you got the League Cup, you got the FA Cup, you've got all these other competitions where you can actually blood players throughout the season. And I think Vieira has this issue where, he's got a pool of players where he has to get a couple of guys, give them a bit of playing time, see how they actually look in an actual full-on, full-pressure soccer match, a full-pressure football match. And you don't have the luxury of sticking them in a competition, which is a little bit less important than actually winning the league or getting involved in Europe. You know. Well, you have but that's just one game, and it's.
Well, see, look.
No, but of course we have the U.S. Open Cup. I get that, but you don't. But it's still not the same.
Look,
but there's no group stage in the other competitions either. But it's the U.S. Open Cup is not something that's really as prestigious as say the FA Cup or the way the cups are treated in certain other countries. And for that instance, it's really difficult, I think, for a coach to actually, blood new players, see how players are doing throughout the course of the season outside of training. That's just the point I wanted to make.
Very quickly, Teresita, you made a great point, and I do want to touch on it. Something that I think is being ignored.
That Kyrie Shelton should be traded.
That is the point. He is a chip, whatever. I don't want to talk whatever. You make a great point that we don't have a solid 18, but more importantly, we don't have a solid, 3 subs that we can make at certain times in the game because we have so much talent that needs minutes and they need time to grow. And that's my only concern going forward. We should feel good. That was a great game against a good team at home, an away game for us. We're going to be coming back home soon, and hopefully we can continue that momentum. But if you don't have players and pieces, who Kyrie Shelton was supposed to be at the beginning of the season in that first game against Orlando, right? But he was great. At the end of the season, he had multiple assists and goals and got us into the playoffs. So now he has competition. That's great. Yeah. I do think that we do need. It doesn't have to be Kyrie Shelton. I think we need specific substitutes at certain times in the game for any situation. I think that's Vieira's next challenge as a manager. We love being here. We do. I think it is about time to wrap up, don't you think?
Well,
oh, I know. We're having so much fun.
But I did want to say, and thank you all for your comments.
This has been the greatest City Post Game Live, by the way.
But I do want to address one thing that Mick mentioned with the U.S. Open Cup, is the fact that NYCFC they have to think about who they're going to play, and
we know who we're going to play.
Well, but let's remind, and this is something that came up on
the Rebels.
No, well we know which team we're gonna What?
We play. It's a FIFA week, the same week as our Supporters Cup. So who the hell are you gonna play?
Well, but not only,
sign me up.
The guys from NYCFC Nation podcast just talked about this. Keep in mind, you can only have 5 internationals on the field at a time.
What?
For a U.S. Open Cup.
Oh, U.S. Open Cup.
So for U.S. Open Cup for that June 14th game, so you have to think about who you're going to have. Our depth players, they need minutes.
And most of our players are going to be gone.
Well, not most. I mean, we're going to probably.
We'll be fine.
We're going to lose Matarita, who we've dealt with.
Ring.
Chanot.
But look at our core, right? You got David Villa, you got Maxi. They're going to be there. Jack
Who's ready
Harrison's
for
not
a
getting
Frederick
called up.
Leon own goal against the Red Bulls?
It all depends on who Vieira's going to play.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's Mix has started. Oh, that's a name I don't want to bring up. You just brought the energy in the room into a weird place. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Can we? You asked me to wrap up, and I'm trying. And
we can wrap up. So, guys, thanks again for coming out. Look, we have NYCFC has an away game next Sunday. Next Sunday, they're playing against.
Let's get him the microphone. I love statistics.
We got a great point coming.
We're going to close out on this point because I love this.
So, in all of MLS, only one team has not been scored on in the 75th minute or later, and that happens to be our own Pigeons, the NYCFC Football Club.
NYCFC Football Club, also known as NYCFCFC.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a great comment to end on. I don't have anything
Great, beautiful, right?
But let's talk about the standings just in case you haven't seen them. Toronto FC still in front, Chicago in second, and NYCFC in third. So, great to see them.
Great to see it.
Toronto yet.
Yeah, and that's the other crazy thing. NYCFC is done playing Orlando for the season, and they haven't even played some of their.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrified of Toronto. They're a great team.
Toronto-
Josie Altidore's playing out of his mind.
I don't worry about anybody, man. It's MLS. Look what we just did in Orlando.
Nick Chavez
Right?
back on the
Well,
mic.
look what we just did in Orlando. People were thinking, oh, we got to play them again. Oh, I don't want to do that. No, we just went in there, beat them 3-0, bro. 3-0. I don't give a shit. Toronto.
Nick,
Toronto.
your mouth.
Toronto. There's a revenge coming.
There's a revenge coming. I feel it too.
Whether it's now or whether it's in the playoffs, they're gonna feel it.
All right. This has been my favorite.
Until the next biggest thing.
This has been my favorite and perhaps the most successful City Post Game Live.
Well, it's
I
because
love
you
it.
did shots during the.
Because that's the main reason why. We won. We got a great crowd. Everyone's still looking at us, which is a change from City Post Game Live. We had great guests. We had great questions. We have an intelligent audience. We have such beautiful faces here. How great. Mike, you're with Blue City Radio. What's your Twitter?
I'm at Blue City. That's the easiest way to find me is at Blue City. I was going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, I'm at Troy Fillmore. My co-host for my podcast, who could not make it tonight, is at Jake Beck Nation, and we are both at Blue Balls Pod.
Blue Balls Pod.
So follow us. Follow Nick Chavez.
Nick Chavez
Nick
is here.
Chavez, MLS. Very easy.
Chavez
And-
with a Z.
And follow Ryan's daughter.
And follow
because-
Ryan's daughter. Thank you, Mick,
Ryan's
for having
daughter.
us. You're a gracious host.
And again, thanks to
Thank you for the
everyone.
beautiful audience. Thank you guys so much. And that's it.
That's
I get
it.
to click finish button.